Today has been a mad one. It has been a mad one. We've had so much developments in the transfer market, in the transfer window surrounding Chelsea Football Club. We've got news on Disasi. We've got news on Tyreek George. We've got news on Christopher Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, and also an update in regards to Xavi Simons. There is a hell of a lot to get through today. I will be sharing all that information with you in tonight's video. I'm going to ask you to smash the like button on this video and subscribe to the Blue Lounge if you are new. We have a lot to get through. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the first tweet from Fabrizio Romano that is discussing Disasi. Bournemouth are now in advanced talks to sign Axel Disasi as official. Direct contacts with Chelsea has been made. Club negotiation on final formula, but Disasi clear top target for Bournemouth, and discussions are underway. Bournemouth are confident to make it happen. Lads, Disasi has been a player that is not liked by Maresca. Maresca has wanted Disasi to go. Maresca has been quite keen. Chelsea Football Club have been quite keen to sell Axel Disasi. And it looks like Bournemouth are now knocking on the door. But Chelsea only want permanent transfer. This is one to watch, and I think this will be a here we go very, very soon. I think Disasi will be very keen on this move. He will get more game time. He will get a chance to play for a club that will give him that game time. And Chelsea will get rid of another player who is lost favour with Maresca. Now, I know some of you will be thinking Disasi is a good defender. We have a problem in defence right now. Is selling him really the right decision, the right choice? It is, because if Disasi does not fill the role that Maresca is keen to have in the team, he ain't going to play. And I think developing the players that we currently have to fill that role, maybe going on the transfer market in the last few days and getting someone to fill that role is the way forward. I don't think Disasi will be given another opportunity, even if this deal doesn't happen. Disasi is on the way out, and here we go very, very soon. Let's see what happens. Okay, Tyreek George is the next player we're going to be discussing. As per Fabrizio Romano, AS Roma keep working on Tyreek George deal as exclusively revealed on Saturday. Excuse me. Talks ongoing with his camp and Chelsea over a deal formula. Preference for permanent move. Chelsea don't want a loan deal for Tyreek George. Chelsea want a permanent transfer. Bundesliga clubs also keen with RB Leipzig and more in contact with players' agent. Now, we know that Bundesliga clubs at the moment, all they want to do is loan players. They don't want to pay for players. It was like getting blood out of a stone to get Chukwuemeka sold to Borussia Dortmund. We actually had to include a player in a loan deal to get a permanent deal out of Borussia Dortmund. There are Bundesliga clubs interested in Tyreek George, RB Leipzig, and I think there's others who have discussed with the agent, but they are pushing for a loan deal. I think AS Roma are inclined to make that bid. Potentially one to watch over the next few hours. Tyreek George on the way out. And Tyreek George on the way out, for me, is a catalyst for Garnacho to come in. It hasn't been linked directly, but I think once Tyreek George is on the way out, Disasi on the way out, we can definitely look at the Garnacho deal happening ahead of the Xavi Simons deal, which I'll get to in just a second. Okay, so this is a report from Christian Falk, a German reporter, mainly Bundesliga reports, in this case Bayern Munich, and he does heavily report on Bayern Munich. I think he might even be tied to Bayern Munich in some sense. And he says, breaking, Bayern and Nicholas Jackson, who's 24, have agreed terms, have an agreement. Okay, now negotiations with Chelsea are starting. Bayern Munich wants a loan deal, as reported by Bild Sports, again, German outlet. This was taken by other journalists and more information was given, but I wanted to give you the actual source of that information, which is this guy, Christian Volk. Now, the problem here is this. We don't want a loan for Jackson. We want to sell Jackson. Bayern Munich have always been interested in both Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku. They've been pushing for this loan deal. Nicholas Jackson, however, Chelsea will only entertain a loan deal for a minimum loan fee of £10 million. Okay? So potentially something could be reached. A loan fee with an obligation to buy, potentially, for Nicholas Jackson with Bayern Munich. That being said, we also know Newcastle are interested. We also know Aston Villa is interested. A whole bunch of clubs. There's a bunch of clubs in Europe, Italy, Spain, who are also interested in signing Nicholas Jackson. For us, it's just a matter of the timing. We are really running out of time at the moment, and we also want to buy players. And we need to sell Nicholas Jackson before we can do that. And this is the position that we're in. This is a problematic position to be in at the moment. But yeah, let's look at the other story. I'm going to get to Xavi Simons in just a minute, but I want to talk about Nkunku. As reported by Ben Jacobs, Christopher Nkunku remains on the radar of Aston Villa and RB Leipzig. As it stands, both clubs prefer a loan. Chelsea have been insistent all summer. Any exit must have permanence. It must be final. We don't want to keep Nkunku any further. So if you want him on a loan, we can discuss, but it's got to have an obligation to buy at the end. So that is where we are in regards to Christopher Nkunku. RB Leipzig, Aston Villa are keen on the lad. I know there's other clubs who are also keen on the lad, but right now the focus seems to be from those two teams, Aston Villa and RB Leipzig. This is a crucial deal to get done for us to bring in Xavi Simons. Nkunku specifically. We talked about Jackson, but Nkunku for me is the biggest stumbling block because of the position he plays. So Nkunku out, Xavi Simons, here we go, will be literally hours later. Florian Plettenberg, update on Xavi Simons. Let's have a read. Chelsea remain keen on signing Xavi Simons until deadline day. What's new? All right, lads, let's just keep on reading. Don't get angry. I'm just reading. Let's read. RB Leipzig super boss Oliver Mintzlaff was recently in direct contact with Chelsea regarding Xavi Simons. Okay, good to hear. Who has reportedly agreed with Chelsea until 2031. So I'm guessing has an agreement in regards to his contract until 2031. Xavi Simons, anyway. However, Chelsea are still waiting for offloads of Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku. I know what you're thinking. We know this already. Yes, but this is the update. It was posted 18 minutes ago, so I'm sharing it with you. Harvey Elliott remains the number one candidate to replace Xavi Simons. That's the update as of 18 minutes ago. As you can see on the screen, that was posted 18 minutes ago. I'm anticipating that we are going to get more updates later on tonight. Whether or not they're actually tangible, meaningful updates, I'm not promising anything because I am literally just showing you what has been reported. I'm keeping you up to date. Don't take it out on me. Some of you guys in the comments have been taking it out on me. I'm just showing you what has been reported by the journalist at the moment. All right, so let's have a roundup. Okay, so Tyreek George and Axel Disasi are potentially on the way out. We might be getting here we goes in the next 24 hours. AS Roma, Bournemouth, final destinations. Hopefully final destinations. I don't want to be hearing no loans. Let's get these players out of the door just so we can focus on incomings. Nico Jackson, Nkunku might take a little bit longer. Might take another 48 hours. So what's that? Wednesday? Which leaves us with a 3-day buffer, potentially, to get Xavi Simons done, Garnacho done. Xavi Simons, from all that we have seen, all that we have read, everything is complete. Everything is complete. I think even the fee has been discussed and has been finalized. All these useless updates that we've been getting, no real tangible information is because there is nothing further to discuss. The contract for the player, with the player, final, done. In regards to the situation between the two clubs, I think also final, done. I think all that is left for us now is to get the deal over the line, and all we're waiting for is the outgoings to be confirmed. Even if the outgoings are going to be on loans, I think potentially we can still do this, because if we are able to loan Nico Jackson with a loan fee of 10 million and an obligation to buy at the end, that's a deal done. Nkunku, similar situation. If it's going to be a loan, a hefty loan fee, and at the end, obligation to buy. One thing you have to keep in mind, lads, and I've seen this a lot over the past few transfers, and I quite like it from the Chelsea standpoint. I think the owners, directors are doing a really intelligent, a really smart move here. The heavy sell-on clauses. A lot of these players, Renato Vega, Garnacho, and the transfers that we're talking about potentially with Tyrick George and even Disasi, there might be a hefty sell-on fee. And I think that is a really smart move from Chelsea Football Club. And us doing that, I'm impressed. I'm impressed in us doing that. I know a lot of people will be like, but when is it going to happen? 3, 4, whenever it happens, it happens. Whenever it happens, it happens. And whatever that fee is, that fee is. If we're getting 40% of the next sell-on for Carney Chukwuemeka, who could potentially, really do well in the Bundesliga, they could go for a good hefty price. Tyrick George, similar situation. We have got players. We're not Vega. These are all players that could demand a very good sell-on fee, a very good transfer once they leave the club that we've just sold them to. And that is something I'm quite, intrigued and I'm quite happy about, that Chelsea are implementing this. Especially when we are selling players that we are trying to sell, we want to sell. And for us to be able to implement this as part of the deal, great work. Great work. We've got to salute the good things as well as condemn the bad things when we see them. And the sell-on fees that we're seeing, 40%, 30%, I'm liking that. So big up to the directors. Now, before I end this this recording, there is another piece of news just came in. So nothing interesting. We'll let it go. But there may be another video later on tonight, potentially. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But lads, if you made it to the end, big up to you. Thank you so much. Much love, much respect. I'll see you in my next upload. Take care. Have a good one. Stay safe. Peace.